say. It's a big honor and pleasure to be here after 6 years from my first visit to Agritechnica. It's a very special moment for me to be here as a speaker. So let's come closer to the topic. I hope you hear me well. Today we will speak about BTU's experience in Germany and Europe with using of biological products based on microorganisms. So to start with, I will show you just few slides about us. So BTU Biotech company is an East Europe company with more than 500 employees. We cover more than 4 million hectares with biologicals. We in general have more than 60 of them, and we conduct thousands of trials to be confident that they work as they supposed to be. At the moment we are providing our products in more than 20 countries. We have 6 years office in Germany. After our visit to Agritechnica, we didn't have another chance but to register a company in Germany. And in the future we are developing our presence in other 40 countries. At the moment we have 15 products registered in different European countries, and all of them are FIBO certified for organic use. You can see here some views of how our production looks like. So for us it's very important to provide stable quality and properties of all our products, so that once farmer receives our product, he knows he can expect the highest performance. So we work with hundreds of strains. We care about them a lot, so that they care about your yields as well. So as I mentioned, we have office in Germany, but our chief office is in Kyiv, Ukraine. And we try to be quite active in the industry, being present on most important agricultural events in the world, like World Biostimulants Congress, BioAG Congress, ABIM, and of course Agritechnica. So now let's come closer to the topics which we will speak today. We will speak about some agricultural challenges which we can cope with use of biologicals. So first of all, we will speak about carbon management. It's quite crucial in keeping of soil fertility, and we have a special solution for that, which we are applying already on millions of hectares during more than a decade. Besides that, we will speak about the category of product called so-called biofertilizers, namely product for improvement of phosphorus availability in soil and product for nitrogen capturing from the atmosphere. And besides that, we will speak about how we can improve efficacy of agro technologies with the use of organic adjuvant. Because I must say that this product is now one of the best-selling products in Germany and in Europe. I mean liposomal. And one of the challenges which we will speak about is drought tolerance and in general abiotic stresses. So let's go deeper a little to details. I mentioned already that we conduct thousands of trials, and we have a big database of this information, and we analyze it from different sides to see what farmers can expect from these solutions. So in general, from these 2,000 trials which we conduct during the last 15 years, more than 90% are successful, and in average we get nearly, I don't know if it works, but I will show you. So in average we get more than 10% increase of the yield, which is quite sufficient. As you can see, vegetables and root crops are a little bit more responsive to biologicals, when on field crops like grains or industrial crops, its response is a little bit lower, but take into account the scale in which you get the yield, it's still quite sufficient. Sorry, it's maybe a little bit small, but I will comment for you. We conduct trials with different categories of biologicals. Some of them are quite traditional. For example, most of you probably use micronutrients as the top line, like boron, zinc, manganese, etc. And as you can see from our experience, average increase of the yield from micronutrients is around 11%. So what you can expect from a nitrogen-fixing product, phosphorus-equalizing product, or mycorrhiza? You can see that quite similar figures as from micronutrients, and if you use them in combination, it means to double your results. So this gives us confidence that biological efficacy is more or less as perspective as important as use of organic mineral fertilizers. Then we also analyze different methods of application: soil, foliar, seed treatment. And as you can see, that the most efficient methods to maximize yield with biologicals is soil and foliar application, but seed treatment is also quite perspective. So now let's speak closer to about specific solutions. First of all, EcoStern. EcoStern is our top seller in Ukraine and East Europe to improve soil health properties and soil fertility. EcoStern is a complex biological product based on bacteria as Bacillus, Agrobacterium, Panibacillus, etc., and also a fungi like Trichoderma. And our main approach to apply this product is to treat the plant residues in the end of the season. So in a lot of cases, what we see in the field after its application is better decomposition of plant residues. So we started introduction of this product nearly 5 years ago and did a lot of studies, especially on corn, which is a crop which is more harder to decompose. But of course, it's not only about the composition, but also about better root development of the next season, and of course, better yield in the end. But we don't finish on just visual examinations. We also go on with trial stations. Here, for example, we make a study on LVK trial station in northwest part of Germany, and we make a scheme to see like 100% fertilization control in comparison to 75%, so 25% less fertilizers with the use of biologicals. And as you can see, with the use of EcoStern before corn cultivation, we reach the same level of yield as we get on 100% of fertilizers. So we can kind of substitute 25% of fertilizers using EcoStern. But that's not all. And as I mentioned, this is about carbon and organic matter. You know that organic matter is one of the main integrative indicator of soil health. So it's quite important to keep its level high in your soils to be fertile. And with our strategic partner Kernel, who have nearly 500,000 hectares, they apply this technology almost on all their fields. And they did a 3 years study to evaluate how this product can help them accumulate organic matter in soil. So as a result of these studies, they see that in 3 years, EcoStern helped them to increase the level of organic matter up to like 0.2%. If you recalculate this volume to amount of organic compounds per hectare, it's nearly 6 tons. And if you again recalculate this to amount of CO2 which is kind of prevented from evaporation, it's more than 8 tons per hectare. So we are now doing studies to participate in kind of different carbon programs with this instrument. So going further, again, this is about soil fertility, and one of the indicators of soil fertility is evaluation of how active is microorganisms in the soil. And when it matters, for example, we met even in Germany some farmers who do some kind of soil sterilization with a steam or with some chemicals. So after these methods, your soil is dead. Another situation is when you have flood. When your soil is underwater, microorganisms does not survive and your soil is again dead. So how to return fertility to your dead soil is to return functional microorganisms to the soil. So we used Biotrax method. It's a Japanese technology which helps to visualize how active is your soil. And as you can see, from sterile soil to almost normal conditions is one step, the use of these solutions. So, but we don't stop only on laboratory analysis, we move on to fields. In Germany, we try to collaborate with some regenerative farming organizations like humus farming or CO2 land and some others. And together with them, we reach some regenerative farms and propose them to test this method. So we tested 2 fields. where we applied EcoStern, and as you can see, we increased activeness of the soil from 10 to 30%, which in the end improves soil fertility and the results on these fields. Again, we continue using these methods this year in Spain, and as you can see, we studied it on citrus. And 1 month after application of EcoStern, on the control we have seen a decline of soil activeness because of weather conditions and agroclimatic conditions. And on the trial we observed 10% increase of the enzymatic activeness of soil. And that ended up not only in like soil activeness, but in plant development. We also observe NDVI on index, on control and on trial. And as you can see, if on control, NDVI and plant development kind of decrease during the drought, on trial we keep it quite active and improving. So that's all about this topic, about soil fertility and carbon, but I believe this topic will continue, especially because regulation in Germany about so-called red zones, etc. Next topic is about fertilization schemes. So we work with soil blocked phosphorus to solubilize it with bacteria, and also we work with nitrogen fixation. So first of all, let's speak about phosphorus. So you know that especially in alkaline soils, phosphorus is blocked with metals and minerals. To get them extracted from these compounds, you need some amino acids which microorganisms can produce. So here is the technology. We applied it usually before sowing of the crop to improve the phosphorus availability during the season. So let's see on the data which we have got. More than 5 years ago, we started studies in some research stations in sunflower, corn and soybeans. So we also decreased the application rates of fertilizers for 30%, and it's interesting to mention that on all 3 crops we get results even better than we have on 100% fertilization control. So it didn't stop in East Europe, we continue studies in Germany, and what we got in Germany, more or less the same situation. So we tested on the same LVK trial station on winter wheat, this scheme, when we have 100% fertilizers control and also a 70% control, so 30% fertilizers less. And what we have got, even better yields that we have on 100% control. Very interesting also metrics which we, indicator of work of product which we also observe is kind of prolongation of vegetation of the crops. So then again we do some another studies with different dosages and formulations of the product before corn, and here we also substitute 30% of the fertilization schemes. But that's not the end. Again, quite often we try to combine both scientific stations and farmers' experiences. And maybe you can compare that. That was one of our studies with a farmer on potato, as you can see, and that field was quite flooded. So what microorganisms did, they don't only improve phosphorus availability, but improve soil kind of resilience and plant resilience on flooded soil. And in the end, I don't know if you see, but plants are quite greener here, and in the end we get quite better developments of the tubers on this field, actually even with less nitrates in it. And again, there are already farmers in Germany who are loving this technology, applying it for years. For example, if this farmer has applied ground fix already for 3 years, and he stopped using any like DAP because he does not need it. He got even better yield using ground fix instead of that. That gives him some savings, and that gives him better results. You can scan this QR code and listen to his original interview about this experience. So let's move on to another technology about nitrogen fixation. Probably you hear that there are bacteria which can capture nitrogen from atmosphere. That is one of such products. We work with bacteria, Agrobacterium pusens. So again, sorry for a lot of data, but we need it. We study different formulations of the product and different application methods. So now we know that with our nitrogen fixing product, we can substitute like 30 kilograms of nitrogen applying this product either foliarly or into the soil, more or less with a similar efficiency. And of course, we tested this not only in our conditions but in Europe. And our partner in Czech Republic, for example, they go in more critical conditions. We recommend try with 30 kilograms of nitrogen, and they tried with 160 kilograms of urea, which is more than 60 kilograms of nitrogen. And even in these critical conditions, they get the yield which is even bigger than on 100% control. Our partners in Austria also tried using this product together with urea inhibitors. And it's interesting to see in this scheme that probably most of you know already urea inhibitors because they reduce evaporation of nitrogen into atmosphere. So if you compare the effectiveness of urea inhibitor with nitrogen fixing bacteria, more or less they are also on the same level. But what is interesting too, despite the fact that urea inhibitors also inhibit bacteria, there is a synergy of co-application of these two technologies, urea inhibitors together with nitrogen fixing microorganisms. And of course, in Germany we always do trials in potatoes, and the same as with ground fix situation. Potatoes here react to nitrogen fixing bacteria quite well. So let's go to a little bit different direction. Our key product now on German market is liposome. It's an organic adjuvant, which is not only an adjuvant but a sticking agent produced by bacteria. So the product itself is a complex of polysaccharides produced by bacteria, and its main function is to improve rainfastness of the solutions. Like if you spray something on the leaves before rain, it will preserve it from washing. So in this way, it improves any application you do with fungicides, insecticides, or fertilizers. Also, quite widely it's applied with herbicides. So, but as I mentioned, we tried all claims our products have to be confirmed by data. So in this table, you can see that we make a model test when we spray different plant surfaces like tobacco, sunflower, corn, cabbage with some indicative substance, and then we make a model of rain. So what we have seen is that if in a tank mixed with liposome, we can preserve up to 2 times or 3 times more active substances on the surface. Then again, as we work quite a lot with herbicides, we did some tests with soil tubes. Again, why it's important? Now on the market there are quite popular adjuvants which just reduce surface tension of the water. And when you have such condition, water is quite easily passing through the soil, taking with it organic matter and your active substances. So it's not so much efficient. And with liposome, as it is a sticker, active substance of herbicide remain in active layer of soil. And one of the important properties of this technology is plants with wax layer on the leaves, because it's quite hydrophobic and without adhesive you cannot stick what you apply on the surface. So then let's go to a little bit field practices. Again, we work with different trial stations. In this case, we test liposome together with multinational known herbicides, both foliar and soil. And you can see that in both cases we improve the performance of herbicides quite well, which improves the yield of the rapeseed. So the payback on this application was quite high. And here is how it looks visually. Again, it was a test in northern Germany this year. So again, I don't know if you can see it here, but really the field where liposome was used with herbicide is much kind of more yellow because of better efficacy of herbicide. And not so much German, but a little bit Turkish experiment, but with potato. Our partners mentioned that liposome is quite good to be applied on tubers treatment with fungicides. So again, I don't know if you can see it here, but on control the coverage of potatoes is not so much homogeneous, and liposome helps to do it better. The last but not the least way to apply liposome is to improve drought tolerance of plants. Again, for the last 5 years we studied different compounds to improve drought tolerance of plants, like amino acids, seaweed extracts, humic acids and bacterial solutions. And it was interesting to find out that liposome, even though it's just a kind of adhesive agent or a sticker, have almost the best properties to this direction. So in this test we make a model of heat and drought tolerant, drought conditions, and after we return watering of the plants, those treated with liposome looks much better. We did this test maybe already more than 5 times, each time with same situation, so really it gives us a very good hypothesis for field performance. And we continue with these field studies. During 3 years, as I mentioned, we study different biostimulants against drought. And it was interesting for us to find out that the best performer was our nitrogen fixing product, Agritechnica, and the second was liposome. So we did these studies on corn and sunflower. And then we go further to understand what actually happened in the field. So we take some leaves to analyze the relative water content in these leaves, and we can see that liposome helped to preserve water from evaporation from the leaves during drought. And the second direction, we make a gene expression analysis, and from this analysis we could see that liposome really helped plants to prepare for the drought and thus had less damage from it. And what it means in practice, again, 2 years ago we had a study in Italy, near Bologna. It was quite a difficult situation because fields were flooded and they grow sorghum, and it was very kind of not very good germination. They treated just one time this field with Agritechnica and liposome, and after 1 month our team come to visit this field. During inspection it was plus 46, so it was really very hot and dry. But even in these conditions we helped farmer to get additional 400 kilograms of sorghum. So that is part of our experience. Again, we believe that biologicals can help both to improve soil fertility and keep it fertile for ages, and also use agrochemicals more sustainable, because you need less of them, you lose less of them, and also help plants to survive during abiotic stresses like drought, climate change, heavy rains, etc. So that's all from our side, and if you are interested, you are welcome to visit our booth in the 22nd Pavilion, and we will be happy to help you with your technologies. Thank you.